Hello, and welcome to today's AI news for Still Team Human on August 5th, 2026. Tonight, we have news out of Google. Jeff Dean, the company's chief scientist, is leaving Google after 27 years to pursue his own business venture, Discovery Loop. Google will invest in this new venture, so there's no animosity or anything like that. And Dean will actually be joined by his Google colleague and senior fellow, Sanjay Gemawat, in the new independent business. It's called Discovery Loop, and it will be focused on accelerating discoveries in machine learning, science, and engineering, according to CNBC. At the same time, Google is adapting and reshuffling leadership. Obviously, it had no choice since these departures require a change. This is key because Alphabet, Google's parent company, is keen on throwing itself into the ring, competing for king of the AI models. The competition is fierce, it's on, and for now, it's led by OpenAI and Anthropic, but Google is really making some strides as well. Uh, and I feel this is the race within the race. We already talked about how the United States versus China is happening, and Europe is trying to throw itself into the mix. And within the United States, the companies are vying for dominance. And Google is making now Demis Hassabis, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing names. He is the CEO of Google DeepMind at the moment, and he will become chairman of that unit and chief scientist of Alphabet, the parent company of Google. Also, DeepMind technology chief Corey Kyoglu will lead the AI division by spearheading the development of Gemini 4, the latest Alphabet AI model. As I said, this is a priority, trying to get into the race for dominance in the AI model sphere. And while Google is in the mix competing for dominance with its AI models, it is reporting that the cloud business is expanding more quickly than both Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. And this is a very interesting point, and it's something that Scott Galloway, the economist and professor who is an expert on the economy and specifically the ins and outs of these companies and how their happenings relate to the markets. He was saying that he believes that a lot of these companies are becoming more in tune with the infrastructure required for AI. Perhaps they see more business opportunities there, and that might be where the market is shifting. So that was interesting to hear about. Also, I just think this is another example or proof of life that the competition is on in the AI realm. And I think it's helpful to have these companies competing for dominance in this area. It leads to innovation, more significant and meaningful testing, and I think it even leads to a push for governance as these models continuously uh, prove to have this potential for bad action, for malicious intent. Um, I think that having the competition happening will push them to try to figure that out faster and to perhaps be more careful and maybe push for more guardrails so that they don't have an embarrassing moment or something that could really hurt them in the market and have them losing the confidence of the people and therefore losing the confidence in the stock market. Uh, in any case, competition is always good. That's why monopolies are dangerous, both to capitalism and to democracy. And these companies will be more motivated to deal with these cybersecurity issues and the other flaws in their systems, like the hallucinations and all the rest we are always talking about. Ah, the beauty of capitalism. In any case, I thought this was a really interesting bit of news from Google, and I'm very curious to see how it all plays out, what kinds of leadership these different people who are taking over show, and what happens with Dean's new company and what that will be doing and how that will be adding both to the AI race and just to the innovation of the technology in general. So I look forward to hearing what all of you think. I will leave the CNBC article link in the show notes, and I hope you tune in for another edition of today's AI News tomorrow. We'll be back. Thank you. See you then.